here it is, guys, the new Hyundai Elantra, the 7th generation Hyundai Elantra. Hyundai has very kindly invited us to take a look at this car. It's an exclusive preview, actually the day before the information is about to be released, so you're actually getting this video a little bit later than when we saw it. Now, based on the presentation that we just saw, it's very clear that Hyundai has big ambitions for this car. That's why this car is arriving in the market only 9 months after its global release, imagine. And you can tell, again, Hyundai has big ambitions for the brand locally, and you can definitely see that here with this car. So we'll cover some of the stuff that we can do statically first. So we'll talk about the design. Now, the design of the new Elantra is definitely something that you can't miss. Just looking at it, you can tell it has a very serious visual impact. This is what they call parametric dynamics, I believe, where Hyundai has chosen to integrate the use of triangles, which according to them is a very difficult design feature to integrate, but they've used that almost very extensively across the car, again just to give it a very bold and very distinctive face. You can tell here one of the big integrations here for the front immediately is this huge cascading grille. So the cascading grille is a known feature for Hyundai, but this is by far and away the biggest integration of the grille for an Elantra so far. And it actually bleeds very smoothly into the headlights, where you can see these are full LED units, as you can see, but the indicators are actually hidden within the grille, so it's actually very difficult to see. They've hidden it, like they've really hidden it. Now, if you look further down, this is not just garnish, yeah. This actually feeds into the air breather here, which then creates a curtain of air that goes over the front wheels. Now, talking about the wheels, these are 17-inch wheels with a dual tone design. I believe that this is a diamond cut finish. Again, just to give it a little bit of visual distinction. Now, we'll talk about this in a second. And moving down the side, you can see that the new Elantra, the sensuous sportiness, you can see how that's translated into this very complex set of curves and creases. It looks almost like metal origami, but by doing that, it's made the car look very distinctive. You can actually see this a little bit better on the grey car, which we'll go and look at in a second. But overall, between that and the sloping roofline, this is also a very common feature on modern cars, but here the way they've integrated it between the glass and this little black panel, it gives the car this very fastback look, almost very sporty. And you can see that it goes, this line that goes down here actually goes all the way to the boot lid with that very distinctive crease that goes all the way down there. So it's definitely a very dynamic and very bold design, and that is further integrated from the rear. Since everyone's taking photos of this car, let's go and get out of their way and look at the grey one. Now, looking at this, you can tell immediately from the rear that they're going for a design that makes the car really stand out. So you have the full width tail light, which integrates these LED combination units. So the brake lights are LEDs, the tail light signature is also LED, but the indicator and the reverse lights are regular bulb. Down there you can see an LED fog light, but more importantly, the way that this has been integrated helps to emphasize the width of the car, and it also means that when the lights are on, it is incredibly distinctive. You will not mistake this for anything other than a Hyundai Elantra. Now, talking about the boot, because everyone cares about the boot. The boot size, the boot space in this is a little over 470 liters, which makes it bigger than the previous generation. Now, there are also pull tabs, as I'm sure you can see here, which means that the rear seats do fold flat 60-40, which means you can get even more space if you need it. Now, talking about the boot lid, which is not powered, by the way, this boot lid, you can see there's a button here with the reverse camera integrated here. This boot lid features Hyundai Smart Trunk technology, where if you have the key in your pocket and you walk up to the car once the alarm is already engaged, if you stand at the rear for about 5 seconds, the boot will automatically pop open. Now, let's look at the interior. First things first, looking at this is the light grey interior option. So the Elantra is available with two interior upholstery options. One is light grey and one is black. Now, looking at this, the other car has a black interior, which I'll show you in a second. Looking at this, you can see that they've been very careful about how and where they use material. So if you look at the seats, these are leather, right, with very nice contrasting here and some use a perforation here. The perforation is actually functional because this has ventilated and heated seats as well. But looking at the door card, you can see that the grey leather is offset by this grey fabric with contrast striping. It looks very, very distinctive. Now stepping inside, again, you can see what modern Hyundais are meant to look like. So first you have a fully digital 10.25-inch supervision cluster up ahead, which is your digital meters, which is paired to an 8-inch touchscreen, which now integrates Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. Now, the steering wheel as well is a new steering wheel for Hyundai. It's a new design that we haven't yet seen before in the C segment, at least, what we've seen already in newer generation Hyundais. But it integrates all of the functions that you need it to, such as the active safety features as well as the convenience features on this side. Now, moving down here, you can see it's got dual zone climate control with heating and ventilated functionalities for the front seats. These are 3-stage for heating and cooling. Not that you'll need heating very much. And the steering wheel is also heated. We'll talk about why that is in a second. Moving down here, you have the gear lever, which is also wrapped in leather. This matches the interior color. And this controls the IVT, which is the Intelligent Variable Transmission, basically Hyundai speak for a CVT. But there's a lot of intelligence to this, which makes it different from other CVTs, also they claim. You have your drive mode select here, your parking cameras, your front parking sensors, your electronic parking brake, which is the first for the Elantra, with auto hold. This should make life a lot easier in traffic jams as well as traffic lights. Now, you have your 12-volt socket here, USB, the usual nonsense. That one's nothing to talk about. Here, Hyundai calls this a variable cup holder, which means that you can actually, there's something about this, so you can actually change the depth. So if you like it here, I think something you can, there we go. So see, when you pick this up from here, you can actually swap it around and move the cup holder depending on what depth you want. So that way bottles and cups can sit in here quite comfortably. Behind this, you have an armrest, standard armrest with a USB port inside. You have your air vents up here. Again, nothing, no surprising nonsense here. You also have a rearview mirror, which is electrochromatic. I believe, no, sorry, that's just there was a sticker here apparently. I thought this was intelligent, but never mind. So this is an electrochromatic rearview mirror, which means it's anti-dazzle. And if I just close the front door, I can also show you that it comes with blind spot monitoring as standard. So that's, you can see the markers are on both mirrors. Now, sitting inside here, what immediately becomes apparent is the fact that Hyundai's designers have worked very hard to make sure that the interior looks very premium. This sense of separation between driver and passenger is something that we've seen only in premium cars before. So the way that they're doing this here, which is most evident with a light interior, is by changing the colors depending on where the zone is. So for example, the driver zone, as you see here, it's all integrated in this light gray color, but then on the passenger side, it's a darker color. Right, so even the trim there is all black, whereas on this side it's all gray. The reason they've done that is again to provide a visual separation between driver and passenger to make the cockpit feel a lot more focused. In the black car, which we'll see in a second, in the black upholstery and the black interior, you don't get that at all, because it's all black. So for those of you who feel that certain car companies or certain cars should be better equipped with a darker interior color because it's easy to maintain or whatever, you can have that option. But for those of us who prefer lighter colored interiors, I know I'm one of them, we'll be able to appreciate this. Now, I'm going to step into the back if it doesn't bother this. As you can see, they're all working here. Let's see if it doesn't bother. And we'll go and take a look what's going on at the rear. Can Sorry, thanks. Okay. Now looking at the rear, again, we're still looking at the light grey colored interior. You can see immediately, first the back of the headrest and the back of the seats have the same fabric that we saw on the door card. So that provides a sense of continuity within this interior. But stepping inside, sorry, busy people looking. So stepping inside and trying not to annoy them as they take their photos. First up, this seat ahead of me is set up for someone much taller than me. And as a result, the legroom here may feel a bit cramped. But to be honest, if I set this up for my driving position, I have plenty of room. Even in this position, I still have knee room and the seats sit quite high up, so my feet can tuck underneath quite easily. we get rear aircon vents. And if I'm honest, the space back here, the way this is all set up just feels really comfortable. If I flip this around, so if I flip this around, I'm about 160 something odd centimeters, and sitting comfortably, I still have headroom here, just about that much, not a lot now, but I can definitely sit comfortably, and the rear angle is very, very good because I'm getting a lot of under thigh support. Admittedly, the bench is a bit shorter than I would have liked, but you know, it's going to be okay for long distances lah. And if I look here, if I flip this back around again, you have an armrest here with a couple of cup holders, and you also, of course, have ISOFIX mount for the rear seats. Unfortunately, there's no USB back here, which is slightly annoying because more often than not, when you're traveling over longer distances, especially with friends and stuff, they want to be able to keep their devices charged, and not having a charger, not having even a USB port back here is a little bit annoying. I suspect that Hyundai Sime Darby Motors had to choose between having a charger and having rear aircon vents. I'm not sure how it's spec'd up in other markets, but you know, it's give and take lah. I guess you have to tell your friends to bring power bank lah. But looking at this interior again, since we're back here, just look at this interior. It looks absolutely stunning. We haven't seen anything that looks quite this premium and quite this sophisticated in the local C segment. It's very impressive that Hyundai is doing this, of course. Now, while I'm back here, I'm going to talk about safety because the Hyundai Elantra really pushes the boat out in terms of safety. So, the Hyundai Elantra comes as standard with Hyundai Smart Sense, which integrates lots of active safety features in under one moniker. So, the headline features are autonomous emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist with lane following assist as well. It comes with front cross traffic, rear cross traffic alert with rear AEB. It comes with blind spot monitoring with collision avoidance. So for example, if you indicate to move into a lane where there is a vehicle or there is an obstruction, the car will not only alert you to the fact there's an obstruction next to you, but it will also steer to avoid the collision if necessary. The same goes for forward AEB at junctions, where if you are turning right into oncoming traffic and it detects that there is a potential collision, the vehicle will brake and prevent that collision as much as possible. The AEB in this car is full speed, so even at highway speeds, it's not just limited for town driving. Even at highway speeds also, it's still functional. It also comes with rear occupant alert, which means that if you turn it on in the settings, every time you switch the car off, it reminds you to just check the back seats. This is to prevent people from accidentally leaving their children in the car and so on. We've seen many of these cases before. They're very tragic. Hyundai actually had this before with the Hyundai Santa Fe, where it relied on sensors inside the car to detect whether or not there was someone in the back. But now this one is just an on-off type setting, where if you switch it on, it will remind you every time. As far as I'm concerned, that's pretty good because I like to leave stuff in the car accidentally. So having that will make me check the rear once again. So now that we've covered the safety, which in this car is very comprehensive, it's time to look at the engine and talk about the powertrain. So if you will excuse me, okay, no one's taking photos. Yeah. Okay, so now let's take a look at the engine, which I'm sure will be a very difficult task to do with only one hand. Yeah, and the pull tab is down here. There we go. Sure, there's a lever. Yep, need to swap hands with this one. Yeah. There we go. Oh crap. Alright. So, this is Hyundai's new SmartStream G1.6. This is a 1.6 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine which produces 123 PS and 154 Newton meters of torque. This is powered to an intelligent variable transmission which sends power to the front wheels. Now, Hyundai says that the gearbox has 8 virtual ratios which simulate an 8-speed automatic gearbox. But thanks to the fact that it has variable ratios, infinitely variable ratios, it means that it improves the efficiency of the engine, which is very, very useful for C-segment vehicles like this, which is predominantly used in town. Now, the IVT works very hard to ensure that it feels natural. So at no point do you get that rubber band effect. It also improves overall power efficiency by about 5%. Now, this SmartStream technology, right, this new SmartStream engine, this new SmartStream powertrain, is the very newest powertrain from Hyundai. This is not an older powertrain, this is not older system, this is not a carryover from the previous generation Elantra. This is brand new. And as a result, we can expect to see a great amount of efficiency and performance from this engine and powertrain. Previously, we've seen that the previous generation Elantra was already a very peppy machine to drive, and it had a very well-suited powertrain combination. So we expect that this will be even better and even better suited for this car. Of course, unfortunately, we haven't driven this yet. And more importantly, we also do not know the pricing. So there's a lot that we can only speculate about at this time. But we are told that the pricing for this car will be competitive against the Japanese rivals, the de facto choices within this segment. And as far as we're concerned, between the engine, between the powertrain options as well as the active safety, this should prove to be a very interesting option within the C segment. Now, we haven't quite asked them what their sales figures, what their projected sales figures are, or what their targets are, but those are questions that we intend to answer. If you want full details on stuff like that, please check the article that we are going to link in the description below to get more granular information about the Hyundai Elantra. While we're here and nobody else is bothering me, I'm going to take a look at this interior. This is the black interior, full leather, no fabric anywhere, even on the door cards. Oh no, this is fabric. Black fabric. Interesting. So this is what the black interior looks like, and you can see there's that visual separation that we saw in the other car is not evident here at all. This is definitely the more conservative choice for those who are more keen on having an easy to maintain interior, kononnya lah. So that's what this is going to look like. So yeah, that's the new Hyundai Elantra, guys, the new 7th generation Hyundai Elantra. Please let us know what you think about this car in the comments below. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and we'll be happy to talk about them more and in further detail. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care, stay safe.